Evacuated. Yes, I'm actually not in Israel. We are in Athens, Greece, and I want to share with you how we came here. Before we do that, see where we're at. Beautiful morning. It's a little after 7 o'clock in the morning. The sun is rising, and it's a new day. But how did we get here? Well, I just want to say thank you again. So many of you have been following us and encouraging us, praying, as Israel's been at war over this last week, and there's been lots of hard decisions to make as a family. The kids have been off of school all week and just living in that constant state of not knowing what the next hour is going to bring. Life is in limbo. The tensions, going to bomb shelters, are things going to heat up, all these what ifs. Just a very difficult time for all of the country. The deaths, just a complete disaster across the country. War is absolutely on everybody's mind every minute of the day. You just feel this heaviness across the whole country. So about 24 hours ago, we saw on the news that Canada is beginning to evacuate Canadian citizens. And my wife and I began talking about that, praying about it. Is that something that we need to do? We're not seeing in the foreseeable near future any changes, really. We don't see school going back to normal anytime soon, with Israel just about to go into Gaza by foot, and more rumors of war in the north where we live, in the Golan Heights. It seemed like, wow, this is not sustainable, this amount of pressure, this amount of stress. And so as we began to pray, we began to see a number of things come together over the last 24 hours, different ways that God was confirming to us that He was actually opening a door for us to leave Israel. And I know that there's times where you need to stay, and we would be all for that. It's just been such a difficult decision, even for me as a man, to leave the country where I'm living, I'm serving. If I didn't have small children, I would love to still be in Israel right now, helping in any way that I could. But with this responsibility that I have with 4 small children who are being impacted directly by this war as well, in different ways of fear, anxiety. My son asking multiple times a day, can the bombs go off here? And how thick are these walls, Dad? Are they as thick as our bomb shelter? And so many different questions and things are on their minds as well, and we're watching it affect them, all the while trying to be as calm as we can, and continuing to come back to prayer. We trust in Yeshua, in Jesus. He's our rock and our refuge, and He's going to watch over us. And even if we do die, we know that we're going to a good place. It's been a great place for us to share more of the gospel with our children, and seen all of our family grow closer to the Lord in this time. But over the last 24 hours, Liat and I went to bed. This was on Thursday night, just praying, God, give us a dream. We don't want to just leave the country. We don't want to do anything unless you're guiding and leading us. We asked for dreams. We woke up the next morning and there was no dreams. But I just had this sense in my heart, like, you know what? I need to leave the country. And over the next half an hour, I opened up my email, and I had about 2 other confirmations of people that had been praying for us, saying, Cody, we sense that you guys need to leave. And then we had a previous things the day before saying the same thing. And so we just felt like with those confirmations, we're going to take the step and go for it. And so even though I had registered with the Canadian government for the evacuation that day, I was honestly not expecting to get any kind of feedback from them, and I didn't get anything. As the hours went by, no email. I tried calling multiple times, couldn't get through to anyone, and we just made the choice. We're packing our bags and we're gonna go straight to the airport. And that's what we did. We went and had no idea what was happening. There was just so many things that were not clear. And we park the car, we get into the airport, we find the Canadian representatives at the airport, and they said, oh yeah, in a couple hours we're going to begin registering people, and the next flight's going to go out at 7 p.m. this evening. This is, yesterday, Friday evening. And we hadn't been called. They were actually calling people. They had a list, and they were calling people who were supposed to be invited to come onto the flight. We weren't one of those people. But when we got there, they did kind of the head count. They said, it looks like we'll have just enough room for you guys as well. So that was great news. So we stood in line, got registered, went through all of the things at the airport. Obviously, it looked a little bit different than a normal flight. But it's challenging. The one thing I want to say is, any of you with children know raising 4 kids, or doesn't matter the number, raising small kids is difficult, period. Let alone adding the dimensions of war and the tensions and the stress. And one of my sons has been a bit sick. He's been throwing up multiple nights in a row. You add up all of just the natural stuff of changing diapers and feeding kids and dishes and cleaning, and then you add war and the tensions of it into the mix of it, makes life just very difficult. And my son was throwing up in the bomb shelter, and being in the airport on a normal trip with kids is also difficult. So we're trying to, now that we know that we're going to be flying, we're looking for places to stay in Athens, because that's where Canada was taking the Canadian citizens. They're just doing a one-way trip to Athens, dropping you off there, and then you're on your own. So over the couple hours that we're in the airport, we've got kids in between our legs, running in every direction, full of energy, and we're trying to book hotels. We're trying to find, what are the next steps? We don't know. This is all happening so fast. And getting travel insurance. We don't even know how long we're going for. That's the big thing too, is at this point, this war could go on a week, weeks, or months, a year. Look at Russia and Ukraine. It's still going on month after month after month. So we have no idea right now. I don't know even what the next few hours hold for us. We have no other flights out of here, boats. The only thing that we're planning right now is to try and get to Sicily, where Liat's family is. She has her sister, brother-in-law, their children. They have a home in Sicily. They've invited us to come and stay with them. And so that's probably going to be our next stop. It's amazing though that the flights, the prices have gone way up over the last number of days. It's like they know that there's Israelis that are traveling, there's commotion, rumors of war, and so the prices of everything has just gone up so quickly. So we don't have anything else booked right now, but I'm out this morning getting some food for my family, and gonna begin looking for flights, boats, options. I don't know what we're gonna do yet. So just continuing to ask you to pray for us as this journey, this wild ride continues. And again, our hearts are just breaking over our friends and family that are still in Israel. We're just so proud of so many of our friends that are serving in so many different ways, whether that be in the army, food distribution. It's just been amazing to see that Israel's coming together, donating food, helping in any way possible. That's been such a beautiful thing. So yeah, just ask you to be praying for us now for clarity. What are our next steps? We believe that God has led us to this point. He's called us to step out of the country at this time. And now, we need clarity of what is He calling us to do. Obviously, we're going to take just a few days just to kind of recover from some of the stress and the pressure that we've gone through and the sleepless nights. And then beyond that, we're just trying to keep our ears to the heart of God, saying, okay, God, now what do you have for us? Obviously, we're eager to get back to Israel as soon as possible. We want to serve our communities, the ministry that we serve with Fields of Wheat as much as possible from afar. But we still don't know what that all looks like. And also, we're in the middle of building a house in the Golan Heights. This week, they were supposed to start pouring concrete for the floors of the house. It's all been on hold this last week. Who knows if that will continue to be on hold or if they'll go back to work. And honestly, I hope this decision for us to leave is just a big mistake and we can go back to Israel as soon as possible. and the kids can go back to school, life can go back to a type of normal. But really, we don't know what any of that looks like. So this is our situation right now. Pray for us that we would have clarity on what the next steps are. And I'll leave in the description below, if you have in your heart to share a donation with us with these different unexpected expenses, and we're not sure where we're going next, what's happening. Sharing, help us pay for a hotel room here for a couple nights. We'd really appreciate any help that you could share with us. We love you. Thank you. Again, if this is helpful, share this with a friend, like it, and we'll keep you updated as we keep moving forward. Let's stay in Yeshua. He is our peace, our Prince of Peace, and He's a good shepherd, and He's watching us all.